Welcome to Kandy's Car Corner. I'm your host, Kandy Mitton. In this series, we're going to take a close look at the world of specialty cars and trucks. And of course, we're going to meet the people who have such a passion for these vehicles. Our next pit spot is going to be right here at the Moncton Coliseum, where we're going to see that Radical SpeedSport East is driving fans in to see a great collection of cars.
Back up, back up, back up. Hey, you put the steering wheel on the wrong side.
My car is a right-hand drive. It's been imported from Japan. It came in the country this year, and I received ownership of it, and driving on the right-hand side. It's a little different, but after around an hour or two, you can kind of get used to it. Well, when I first got the car, I went and took it on the highway, and my friends were behind me in another car. So they noticed I kept wandering towards the other lane, but after around 20 minutes of driving, you kind of get the feel to it. You kind of get the feel to stick over to the side a little bit more than you think you should, and everything works out, no issues. I really enjoy it. No one's complained. Oh yeah, street legal, license inspected, everything, yeah. Well, the biggest question is, how do you bring it over here? Like, do you bring it over yourself? Do you get someone else to do it? Also, how much does it cost? How much does shipping cost to bring a car from overseas? Those are probably the biggest questions I get.
So this Bronco came with 2 gas tanks, and essentially the reason there was 2 gas tanks in this truck is that, especially in the American Midwest and the American West type of thing, they had long distances in the desert, so they put an auxiliary fuel tank, which in this case here is an extra 11 gallons. And the Bronco's 1969, and it's been part of our family for 28 years now, so we're kind of thing. It's fun, it's cool, and it's a great activity to have during the summer months. So what's neat about these models here is that they're essentially a 3-speed, so right now it's in reverse. We put it down, we've got it in first, second, and third. And interesting a lot, there's this little shift in the middle, and it's for the 4-speed, 4-wheel drive, not to be confused with an automatic transmission.
Obviously, the Bronco looks spectacular. So can you give us an idea of if it took hours, weeks, months, how long did it take you to get this vehicle in the kind of shape it's in for today's show?
I started 28 years ago. You know, buying was the first thing, and every year we do a bit here and a bit there, and we just improved it over the years. And the paint's probably 15 years old on that thing. It was painted in a little body shop in Sussex, New Brunswick, and all I do, I put wax on it.
Now, you're here at the car show, and a lot of people have a misconception that car shows are about, you know, 70s muscle cars or 60s muscle cars. Tell me what makes it enjoyable to bring a vehicle like this here.
Well, what's enjoyable is that in our case, we came here as a club, so there's 10 members. We all have these Ford products, but what's really, really fun here, you've got a variety of cars. You've got some young folks, a lot of these tuners, little Hondas, Toyotas, and you've got us, maybe the more mature crowd that likes this stuff. I'm a member of the Ford Country Club, and we've been a club for 25 years plus. We have a show once a year in Riverview, and we do different things like raise money. We give it to different charities. So it's really, it's a community thing, and yet it's a fun hobby.
I noticed some very unique zombie-like things happening in your display area. What is it, and how will it grab the audience's attention?
We had a sponsor from Zombie Manor, and they brought us a lot of their designs and zombies and dead bodies per se, and a lot of unique items. And we've displayed it around our booth to kind of captivate, you know, the people that are walking by.
Now, I just checked out your car. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's an Infiniti G35. It's a 2007. And it's all original, but I've added a lot of parts to it, like the carbon fiber hood and some hydrographics. We've repainted the whole car, and we had installed the nitrous in the back and everything else, so got a lot of stuff to it.
Now, one thing I did notice, that doesn't look like a stock grill to me that I would buy at the local dealership. Tell me how you come across that.
It's part of our company called WaterTech. It's where we do hydrographics. So it's the original grill, but we had it hydro dipped in a tank where there was a film. We install a film and we dip the part, and the The automotive ink sticks to the grill.
I won in the top 25 with this one here.
Well, that's quite an accomplishment. Tell us about this car, year, make, model, and how you came across it.
Well, it's a 1932 Ford Roadster, and it was actually a grand prize at the Atlantic National that I won, and people are still talking about it 2 years later.
So give us the rundown. What kind of engine's in this car, transmission, the whole shebang?
That's a 350 Chev engine. Really, it'll move. There's actually no weight to it, so it'll, other than that, it's automatic, chrome steering wheel and all stuff, and it's got the removable roof on it, and it brings us wherever we want to go.
The support that Moncton gives to these shows is incredible. We have, the cars are second to none. We have a new head judge here this year. He hasn't been here in many years, and even he was impressed. He said, wow. So yeah, Moncton's got some great cars and some great fans, and we're very happy to have them both.
Give us a sense of what kind of range as far as years, some of the most obsolete things that a person might see here at SpeedSport East this year.
There's everything. Basically, when it comes to the cars and when it comes to everything that we're offering, celebrities, everything, we've always, or my motto has always been, it's got to be a family event. We want something for everybody. We want every member of the family to be able to come here and have a good time, see something very cool, meet a celebrity, whatever it is, to the youngest to the oldest.
I always like this car show because it's the first one of the season, so it just really gets you in the mood of the whole car show season starting.
Well, it's a big event in Moncton. Every year in the spring, people like to come here. They come from all over New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. I met some guys from Halifax on the way up here that were going to the car show. I myself from Dartmouth, but I used to live in Moncton. And every year we would come to the car show and look at all the different cars.
I just like everything. I like the old muscle, I like imports. Just whatever has wheels, I don't mind.
Well, SpeedSport is like the first really big car show here in New Brunswick to start off the season. So when SpeedSport comes, you know the car season started.
Now, if I was watching this show right now and I'm thinking I would love to show my vehicle in the next SpeedSport, how do I get information? How do I apply?
SpeedSportEast.com. You can apply. Usually within a week of the show, we'll put up next year's application form. Send it in. You can apply it directly online. Doesn't cost a thing. We'll be in touch.
Welcome back to Kandy's Car Corner, and we are here at the Moncton Coliseum, where car collectors and fans alike are taking part in the annual Radical SpeedSport East Car Show. Next up, we're going to meet a local collector whose car took the eyes of the people at Detroit.
The Camaro, we've had it for 4 years now. We've attended quite a few car shows with it. Just got back from Detroit, did the Autorama in Detroit, and the car has fared very well.
Now, you had it for 4 years. Did it look like this when you bought it, or have you turned it into this?
It looked pretty much like that, but I've done a lot of work to it underneath the exhaust and a lot of mechanical work to it to get it to the point it's at now.
Do you know anything about the paint color? Tell us about what drives this car along. Give us all those details.
It's Boyd Coddington Red. It's a special paint made in the States only. And it's powered by a 572 5-speed Tremac. It's a 373 Moser positive traction rear end, and I guess that's the heart of it anyway.
Now, I've looked at some of your plaques and awards and some of the different shows. Tell us about some of the highlight shows you've been to and how this car did at these large shows.
Well, Detroit was the largest show I've been to, and it got a second place in Detroit. All the previous shows we did Boston, Quebec, Montreal, let me see, Boston, Quebec, Montreal, and Moncton here, and it's won first place in all the other shows other than Detroit, come second. But there's over 1,000 cars in Detroit, 1,200 to be exact.
Give us a bit of an idea what it takes, even though it's already a beautiful car, what it takes to get ready and get this kind of a setup.
Ooh, you're looking at a day, to to set up and put our light stands together, and flooring all clicks together. So it's quite a chore, and it's really a four-man deal to put it together and set it up.
Now, 4 years ago when you decided to buy this car, what was it about this particular car? Is it the type of car it is? Was it the color? Was it just the right deal at the right time? Give us an idea.
Probably all three. I've driven it some, but I have other cars to drive, but I've put some miles on it. But after the show, it's pretty much maxed out for far as shows go, so I'll probably drive it.
Tell me about this truck and how you came to get it.
Well, I purchased it in last September, and it's a 1968. It's a F100 Ford pickup truck, two-wheel drive. It's automatic. It's got a 360 two barrels. I mean, it's a truck I always wanted, and I sold my car. Actually, I had a Mustang, and I sold my Mustang, and I started to look for a truck, and I thought it was going to take me like 2-3 years to find one, but I just happened to go to a car show last year, and I found it in Shediac, and I talked to the gentleman and asked him if he was interested in selling it, and he told me he was. And also, it's what was interesting for me was it was an Arizona truck, so there's no rust. It's a good solid truck.
So you bought this truck. Was it in this exact shape? Have you done anything to personalize it for yourself?
Well, I'm starting to work on it. I mean, I just had it this winter, and I didn't want to start too early because I couldn't wait for summer, so I kind of put it away for a couple of months, and I started to work on it in March. I put a new rad in it, and I did a little bit of work to it. And that's the reason I love old trucks, because I can work on them.
So now you say that you wanted to get the truck ready for this summer. So give me an idea. What are you going to use this truck for all summer?
Well, it's going to be a driver. In the weekends, I'm going to drive it. And another reason why I bought it is I'm going to let my young fella, he's 20, I'm going to let him drive it also, and it's going to be an everyday truck, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
Now, you mentioned one of the reasons that you upgraded cars is because the last Mustang was a standard and your wife couldn't drive that. Yeah. Tell me, how much is your wife a part of the vehicles that you pick?
She has a lot to do with it because she loves to come here. She's a people person, so this is perfect for her. So it works out good because I like the car shows and she likes to meet the public.
So tell me, when you bought the car, is it just as it was bought, or have you done anything to make it yours?
Yes, the personalized license plate, the racing gas cap there on the side, and a couple of other things on the inside. But otherwise than that, it's as you see it.
Now, do you get to drive this car a lot? Where are you from, and is it a summer-only car? And what else do you use it for? Car shows, racing? Give us some kind of idea.
It's just for car shows. I take it out on the weekends. We might put maybe 3,000-4,000 kilometers a year.
So now, as we check this car over, tell us some of the features that the Mustang GT has that most of the Mustangs we see on the road don't have.
The color is very unique. It's a grabber blue. They started in California, wanted their own car, so they Ford made them just especially for California.
Tell me, what does California special mean?
It's at one step higher than the GT, basically, and it's very limited also. And it kept on going for so many years after that, and then they just start bringing them back out again. The color and stuff like that, it's a big difference. It has a bigger motor, and the wheels and stuff like that is different. So anybody that sees a California Special, they know there's something special about it.
I noticed you're also parked next to a lot of other Fords. Tell us why that might be.
I'm in the Ford Country Club, and we all have Fords, and then we go to different shows and stuff like that, so we get together.
A little bit about the club, where you guys are located, and what it takes to get these great cars here to the show.
Our club was formed in 91 rather. Last year was our 25th year, and we've been participating in the SpeedSport East for as long as we've been a club. This year we have 8 cars. We try to pick 8 different cars every year so people don't see the same cars. So it gives a variety, and we've got one from every generation except the 20 C7s, which is the last generation. we have 2 of them. All the other generations are represented. We're accepting new members all the time.
So give me an idea of what the oldest Corvette in your club would be and what the newest year would be.
The oldest is a 56 and the newest is a 17. And we do have quite a few 17s.
If somebody wanted to get involved with the Corvette Club, could you tell us how we could do that? Are you on social media?
Greater Moncton Corvette on the internet.
Tell me a little bit about your Corvette, which you left at home this weekend.
It's a 2010 Grand Sport, and a couple of years ago I had a 77 that I had for 25 years, and I kept it alongside the other one, but I felt I needed more space in the garage, so I let it go.
What years would you be really looking at?
Well, we'd like to have, there's no real regulations on it. We'd like to see the reuse of the old British bikes, the 50s, 60s, and 70s bikes. The British kind of died out in the mid-70s. Although so far, most of our membership has been concentrated in that. We got British and European bikes, we got Moto Guzzi's, BSA's, Triumphs, Nortons, and even one Ariel, which Ariel's a long defunct make, but they're owned by BSA back in the day.
Now tell me, there are some bikes behind me that I have to be honest, I am not even familiar with. Tell me a little bit about this red bike that's closest to us.
Well, that belongs to me. That's a 1962 Bultaco Matrala. It's a 4-speed transmission. It makes 25 horsepower, give or take, and a top speed of roughly 90 miles an hour. It weighs like 200 pounds, so it's almost like riding a very fast moped.
Now you mentioned most of these bikes are of European vintage. What country is the bike we were just talking about from?
They're Spanish. They were made in Barcelona, Spain from 1958 to 82, thereabouts, when the company finally folded.
I'm curious what type of actual racing, because there is multiple ways to race motorcycles. Tell me what you did.
I did mostly road racing, like pavement racing on circuits, ranging from, there was 3 or 4 of them around the Maritimes here, mostly airport circuits. Then they built Atlantic Motorsport Park in Shubenacadie in 1974, and then I've also raced in Quebec, Ontario, New Hampshire, 2 different tracks in New Hampshire, and so I've been around the block a few times.
How can I find out more about the New Brunswick Vintage Motorcycle Association?
Okay, well, the best way is try the Facebook page, New Brunswick Vintage Motorcycle Group. That tells you a bit about it.
Welcome back to Kandy's Car Corner. I'm your host, Kandy Mitton. Now, as the Radical Speed Sport show continues, we're going to meet some more local collectors and find out about the Atlantic Drag Racing Association's local scene.
Stancy's Car Club has grown a lot since its earlier days. I've only been around for 2 or 3 years, and it's been a great experience.
Now, what do you guys do with these cars? Do you race them? Do you show them? Is there special events that you guys attend?
It's morely just for show. Mostly for Summer Slam Jam that's in Moncton at the Centennial Park.
Now, what is a Summer Slam Jam?
It's the Stancy's Car Show.
So what goes on at the show? Are they judged on how they look, different categories? Give me a little bit of a feel of what I would need to know if I want to put a car in Summer Slam Jam.
Yeah, they're obviously changed in different categories or looked at, and then they give awards and stuff at the end of the day, and they have like judges that go around and look at them.
Stancy's, it's a great group of guys. We're almost like a family. It's pretty nice. Everyone tries to help each other out. Say someone's broken down the side of the road, 4 people go out and see if he's all right, bring tools. Just all around help each other out. It's a really great group of guys.
It's a 2012 Mazda 3. It has ESRS R04 rims on it. They're 18s by 10.5 wide. It's lowered with scale coilovers. I have, exhaust is basically just straight pipe. I have a lip and extended side skirts. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, I gotta do cutting and stuff to fit them to make it sit where it sits, I guess.
So Justin, tell me, what did you build this car for?
Basically, I always had a thing for lowered cars, and a bunch of my friends are into it as well.
Now, coming to a car show is a lot of work, whether it's in the summer or whether it's active right now. Tell me, what did it take to get this car to the show, and what kind of effort goes into getting it ready?
It takes a lot of time and patience, I guess, to get the car ready. But to get here, I guess it takes also a lot of time and patience if you're driving it here.
Let go early.
Brian, tell us what the Atlantic Drag Racing Association is.
We are a group of about 250 members that help represent the 4 tracks in the Maritimes in Miramichi, Greenfield, Nova Scotia, Sydney, Nova Scotia, and Cape Breton, and Raceway Park just outside of Charlottetown and PEI.
Now, what does it mean to a group like the Atlantic Drag Racing Association to have a setup like this in the car show? How does that help with your marketing?
It really helps get folks out to the track. Spectators make the show. Really throws out the information, education, and everything else.
Now, what is drag racing for all those fans out there watching?
Drag racing, as you see on TV, is 2 cars that just see a green light and go. We do bracket racing, so there's a little more mathematical equations done to it, but it's still a quarter mile straight down the track, as quick as you can get there.
Now, you mentioned that we see it on TV. Those guys go pretty fast, and it looks like it could be dangerous. Tell us how that comes into play.
As far as those points, we help with the tracks and the associations, like from NHRA, IHRA, to help put those rules in place. They make it as safe as they can for the drivers, the spectators, and anybody else that might be around the track.
Now again, when I watch TV, I see some pretty fast cars, but when I look at some of the cars in your display, they look more like things I would see locally, maybe even on the streets. What kind of a vehicle do you need to go drag racing?
You can take your Toyota Corolla and come drag racing with us. Like I said, it's called bracket racing, so you're kind of racing against your time and your competitor at the same time, but you can bring anything to the track, and that's what makes it so friendly for anybody to come to the track and race. We got cars that do 7 seconds in a 200-mile-an-hour mark. We have cars that do 18, 19 seconds at the 60-mile-an-hour mark. So, and we've had those cars go against each other. So,
if I want to get involved with drag racing, maybe I don't know anybody that does it now, tell me how I could get more information to even find out when I could do it.
We have a website called the80ra.ca, and there are a lot of links there, all kinds of contact information, or you can reach out to one of the tracks. Google will put you in the right direction.
Now, if I just want to go and watch some of these fast and slow cars, tell me, what could I expect to see in a typical day of drag racing?
We have over 20 weekends scheduled around 4 tracks this summer. Usually drag racing starts around 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning with time trials, they call, which is basically a practice. It's a tuning procedure for everybody with their vehicles. And around 1 o'clock we start doing racing on both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday you'll see everybody against everybody and 2 classes.
What kind of advice would you give those people, no matter if they drive a motorcycle on the street or they're going to reach out and buy an expensive race car?
Bring it to the track, not on the street, folks. It's been our motto for over 20 years. It's our 20th anniversary. A lot of us have, dabbled with that curse of street racing when we were younger, when we didn't have a place to play. We now have 4 tracks in the Maritimes. There's really no reason for anybody to be doing it on the street.
Shut her down, that's it.